Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is FA Cup weekend, the one trophy that Manchester United can win this season, and to do so we start by beating Brighton in the FA Cup on a Sunday afternoon. While other clubs are out there playing Exeter United, no offence to that, we have got a Premier League style clash, but it's in the FA Cup and Manchester United must do everything they can to win it. We have manager Darren Fletcher leading us out, leading Manchester United out for the first time at Old Trafford. The crowd are going to be absolutely up for it. The atmosphere is going to be fantastic, and there is no excuses for Manchester United not to be winning this game. We might have a depleted squad. Everybody might not be 100% fit, but this Manchester United side has to go and win. Trophies is what Manchester United is built off. The academy is what Manchester United is built off, and I think we're going to see a little bit of both shining through. The hunger for trophies, some of the academy players potentially coming off the bench. Shea Lacey, I think Shea Lacey is definitely going to get some opportunity in this game, and I really just want to see a positive performance from Manchester United. There was such a mixed reaction to that Burnley performance. Some people thought there was really promising signs. Like me, I thought, and I think this can put it in the best possible way, that Burnley performance is what a poor Manchester United performance should be. A lot of shots, a lot of chances, you're not conceding too many chances. They're one shot on target, they scored, and it ended up being a 2-2 draw. Seeing an academy player come on and nearly win the game, that should be a poor performance, and that is what should be considered. That was a poor day for Manchester United, a 2-2 draw, but there was still a lot of opportunities to go and win the game. Darren Fletcher, he's got a draw under his belt. Now he's got to go out there and get a cup win because, you know, come the end of the season, and I like to be optimistic, glass half full, you could be looking back on this thinking, Darren Fletcher was a big part in this FA Cup win. If Manchester United could go out there and win the FA Cup. I mean, we've gone and won trophies before when our season's not exactly going according to plan, so don't write Manchester United off when it comes to trophies. However, it's not our first time playing Brighton, and I think in some sense of the word, we're a little bit unlucky because I don't think Brighton are going to go easy on us at Old Trafford. They'll smell blood, they'll smell a team that is low on confidence, they'll smell a team that is not got a permanent manager in, and they'll think this is a really good opportunity for us to move forward in this competition. We've gone against Brighton in the FA Cup in the past. We had that semi-final against them when Bruno Fernandes had to come off injured. He was playing through injury for a lot of that game. I remember at Wembley, ended up going to penalties. And if my memory serves me correct, I was at that game. Victor Lindelof won it for us, I think, with his penalty. He's now in a title race, so you know how things play out there. But we've had experience against Brighton in these cup competitions, and I don't think they'll be resting. I don't think they'll be rotating. I think they'll be going for it. Whereas, you see teams like Aston Villa, who are in a bit of a title race, some could say, I think they'll be resting players. I really do think they'll be rotating players. It's not an easy game no matter what. It's the FA Cup and we know the magic of the Cup. Anything can happen. But I really do think we're going to go against a full-strength Brighton team at Old Trafford. Herschler's been speaking really well of Benjamin Sesko, saying he thinks he's had a tough start to the season, but that Burnley game you could really see what he's about. He's a big fan of his. He's watched him in the Bundesliga before. And I think all of our players need to take the positives out of that Burnley game, and they need to go into this game with a bit of confidence, but with that United history behind them, and know that it's not acceptable to go through a season as Manchester United and not win a trophy. We've got to do everything we can for the one trophy we can win. But it's not the first time playing Brighton this season either. We played them under Ruben Amorim in October, and I thought I'd get up the team for that game because under Ruben Amorim, it's really hard to name games we've won convincingly whilst also playing well. I mean, that combination, I think, has only happened in a couple of games for Ruben Amorim in the Premier League as Manchester United manager. And the games I would name would be Sunderland at home and Brighton at home. It was in that little run. We also beat Liverpool at Anfield, which, to be honest, I mean, it was a very 50-50 game, but that can't go under the radar. That was a fantastic win. But the main two where you'd say we showed dominance would be Brighton, and it would be Sunderland. So we are capable of beating this Brighton team. It is going to be a slightly different squad for it, but this is what the starting 11 was last time we beat Brighton at Old Trafford. So in goal, it was Senny Larsmans. He was the goalkeeper that started. Surprise, surprise. He has been a rock for us at the back, I think. The three at the back was Yoro, De Ligt and Shaw. You then had wing backs of Ahmad and Dallo. You had your two midfielders as Casemiro and Bruno. You had your two tens as Mbeumo and Cunha. And you had your striker as Benjamin Sesko. So I'm going through that. Lamens is still going to start for us. Yoro is now currently, on the bench because Aiden Heaven's come in and done really, really well. De Ligt is injured. Luke Shaw will be playing, I think, but he'll be playing as left back unless Darren Fletcher decides to rest him, as we are playing quite a lot of games at the moment. And Luke Shaw, despite starting every Premier League game for Man United this season. I know this is a cup game, but despite starting every Premier League game for Manchester United, you still worry about his injuries. Ahmad is at AFCON and he won't be available for this game. By the way, tearing it up at AFCON, he's on for player of the tournament potentially, so hopefully he comes back full of confidence and firepower. Casemiro, I think this could be a game where you rest him. Bruno Fernandes is coming back from an injury, but I think he will play. Dalot will play. And Mbeumo, unfortunately, won't be there. Even depending on what happens with Cameroon and Morocco, he's still not going to be there even if he gets knocked out by Morocco. So Mbeumo won't be available. Cunha is available and Sesko is available. So it's not going to be exactly the same team, and it's definitely not going to be the same formation. Darren Fletcher is going to set up in a back four. Whether he goes absolutely full strength, all guns blazing, whether he rests and rotates will be yet to be seen. I would be extremely shocked in one of his few games he has the opportunity to be Manchester United manager, he decides to rest and rotate a lot of players. I would be extremely shocked if he doesn't go all guns blazing in an FA Cup that Man United, in my opinion, have to do absolutely everything to try and win. Trophies are important to this football club. So I do think he'll go with a full strength 11. He might make a couple minor changes just based off legs and whether, the energy is there with some of the players. But I'm going to have a crack at doing my starting 11 and get in the comments down below what yours would be. So, a lot of people saying, are we going to see Altay Bayindir because it's a cup game? I'm not taking any risks. For me, Senny Laman starts. I've seen what I need to see with Altay Bayindir, and I don't want to take the risk. Senny Laman's for me is safe hands. Senny Laman's for me is calmness at the back. Senny Laman's for me is someone who comes in clutch. I've seen Altay Bayindir, and he is a mistake waiting to happen, in my opinion. So for me, it's a game I think we have to win. It's Senny Laman that goes in goal for me. My back four, it's going to be Dalot at right back. It's going to be a back two of Aiden Heaven and Lisandro Martinez. Now, some people say, well, does Leacher not need a break? He's just come back from injury, and we know that he's had serious injuries in the past. Do we need to rest him? I actually don't think you can afford to rest him because Harry Maguire, I don't think, is ready to start. I'd be surprised if he throws him to start in this game. And I don't think you can go in with two youngsters. Aiden Heaven is playing really well, but he's still a young and experienced player. I think if you put him in with Lenny Yoro, there's just not enough experience in that back line there. So I would actually stick with Lisandro Martinez, and then you could potentially bring Harry Maguire, Lenny Yoro on in the second half if you want to manage minutes. Left back, I think it's going to be Luke Shaw. He might rest Luke Shaw and go with Patrick Dorgu. That is something he could do. And if he does do that, I won't be surprised to see Shea Lacey start. So Luke Shaw might get a rest and he could go for Patrick Dorgu at left back instead of left wing, which is where I'm about to put him. But I think he will go with Luke Shaw because Darren Fletcher wants to win. He wants to do everything he can to win. And I think he'll think Luke Shaw is a really important part of that team. Midfield, this is where I'm going to make a slight change from the weekend. Look, it's hard for me to leave Casemiro out, but I think I am going to leave Casemiro out in this game just because Casemiro is a one-game-a-week man. When he's playing one game a week, 60 minutes, he can give you a really, really good performance. But he's playing a lot of minutes right now, and I think it really showed in that last game against Burnley. He looked off it. He looked nowhere near himself. I would actually play a midfield two in there of Mainoo and Ugarte. Even potentially even potentially Mount and Ugarte. But I think Ugarte's done enough over the last couple of games to safely say he's going to start. I think he's actually played decently well. And I know he's come under a lot of criticism, and rightly so, but I think he's found his feet a little bit. Who knew? When you actually give a player a bit of game time, they start to feel a bit more confident, they start to get a bit more comfortable. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Ugarte is going to be our midfield starter next season, and he's probably not even going to be our midfield starter realistically this season if everyone's completely fit and firing. But I think he's done all right, and I think he's done enough to start in this game. So I think I would go with Ugarte and Mainoo. I know Ricky's probably watching this screaming saying, you need Casemiro and Ugarte because they both have that solid foundation. They both know, how to play that centre defensive midfield role. Casemiro, I don't think he tracked one runner at the weekend. He just looks a little bit tired. He looks a little bit lethargic. And I want Casemiro back to his firing best because that's when you get the best out of him. So I think I would give Mainoo that opportunity in the FA Cup, a really big opportunity for him. And I think I'd pair him there with Ugarte as well. In front of that, I'm going with Bruno Fernandes. Right on the right side, I'm probably going to go with Cunha again. I am going to persist with Cunha. I know there's a lot of criticism for him at the moment. He's a big game player. He's a very good player. He's a rough diamond. Is he absolutely on form? No, but he's got it in his locker and it's there, and I would persist with him. On the left wing, I'm going to go with Patrick Dorgu again. I think he deserves to start. I thought he really grew into the Burnley game. He was creating chance after chance for Benjamin Sesko, and that lines up my striker. It's going to be Benjamin Sesko. Has he had a lot of moments which are head in hands? He absolutely has, but it's like a bus. You're waiting for one and two come at once, and that's what he's like in that Burnley game. As soon as he got that goal, he looked really, really dangerous, and he could have arguably even had a hat-trick. He's full of confidence. He's a striker that's just had 2 goals. Put Bruno Fernandes just in behind him, and I think you could really see Benjamin Sesko get some more opportunities, and he could really be a danger man against Brighton, and he could be the one that goes and gets that goal for us. So Bruno Fernandes playing further forward is something that really excites me. I look forward to, and I think you start with a team to go and get ahead. You start with a team to go and try and win, and I think that's what Darren Fletcher will do. The only change that could be made to that is if Luke Shaw gets rested, because of the injury record. You could have Dorgu playing left back, and then you could have Cunha in his natural position on the left, and then you could have Lacey coming in on the right, which could be really, really exciting. But is that team got enough experience in it? Because you've got to respect Brighton. They're a very good side. They've just done extremely well against Man City. I'm probably going to go with my first lineup. It might be the exact same lineup, and he might power through with Casemiro. Let's see. My score prediction, I'm going to go with either 3-2 to Man United or 2-1 to Man United. It could be an injury time. It could be one of them. It could be a last minute. It's screaming out for a last minute Maguire or a last minute Shea Lacey, something like that. But I'm excited to see Shea Lacey gets minutes. That's what I'm most excited about in this game. I'll say my top 3 things I'm excited for. Shea Lacey, to see him play more football, Bruno Fernandes to play closer to Benjamin Sesko, and to see Kobbie Mainoo play more minutes and get into the rhythm of being a first-team player again, because I'm just excited to see him. But really hoping we get a win for Darren Fletcher. I thought he's handled his time at Manchester United so far as interim really well, but mainly get a win for Manchester United because I want a trip to Wembley this season. So yeah, that's my final score prediction. It's going to be a close one, everyone, but get your score predictions down below, smash a like on the video, and come on United.